welcome you to our interdepartmental banquet. We're delighted that our speaker was able to come this afternoon. Cle Jackson, he's known in the community through Blue Cross Blue Shield, but he is also our newly elected NAACP president, and we're really, really excited to have him.
And when you think about the investment that a lot of you in the room tonight have made, and it's significant. I think about Mr. Brown, and he supported the NAACP. It sure has been exciting over the past few months for the Greater Grand Rapids branch of the NAACP with my transition to the presidency of the local branch here. The NAACP's principal objective is to essentially ensure the political, educational, social, and economic equality of minority groups in the United States and eliminate race prejudice. Back in the day, when the NAACP had meetings like this, it didn't look like this room looks today. So the critical part of that is that we all have an opportunity, right, to find some common ground. Some common ground that we can agree on. Something. And we must not forget that. God is calling us, and especially the church, which is the kingdom. Not one church, not one denomination, the kingdom of God, right? The kingdom of believers, to reach back as we climb and lift our people, our families, our friends out of their circumstances and situations, and mobilize a mass spiritual reconstruction and stand up for righteousness and stand in the gap.
I so much enjoy being here because it's God's people. And I might have a position in government called mayor of a city, but you know it's only temporary, because when he comes again, it all goes away. We have one government, one Lord. To me,
same, Mike.
It is so wonderful.
Organization is to focus on 5 game changers that foundationally are connected to our theme tonight, reaching as we climb. They are health equity. You look at the area of health that is equitable. People are getting the services they need, and they're getting opportunities to access. Local elections impact our everyday quality of life, living standards, living. And we must never forget that. We must hold our officials accountable. Everybody in this room should be writing every justice that sits on the Supreme Court and saying, and tell them, I'm upset with you. I'm disappointed. I read something today before I came earlier that was saying that Michigan, the incarceration rate in Michigan has lowered. And I'm thinking, for who? For who? I still see brothers every day getting locked up. For who? For who? Economic sustainability. We're not even in the game on that one. We're not even in the game. We need to, this is what we can do as a community, because I was somewhere this week and someone had the conversation and said, well, when are you all going to do something for yourselves? What are you going to do? Make it happen, right? Make it happen. My response was, give us the opportunity to make it happen. We'll make it happen, right? Economic sustainability. So one thing that we can do in minority communities specifically is support our businesses. No matter how small or large they are, we gotta support them. We gotta support them.
as a community, not only an ecumenical community, but as a community as a whole, we can come together and lift up the Grand Rapids Kentwood community. And we're not going to be satisfied with where we are, although we thank God for where we are as a community and as people. But it's our desire to keep reaching higher. That new and exciting things would happen because we've come together. And that as we stay together, God will lift our community, lift our churches, lift the people of all ethnicities, socioeconomic backgrounds, and we would just all rise together.
In West Michigan, in both the Senate, State Senate, and House, we have no minority representation. None. None. You talk about an opportunity to reach as we grow. Some of these younger leaders that are coming up, where's Pastor Austin over here? I think about him in terms of, I think it was mentioned and talked about it that, he's interested in politics. How are we beginning and starting to groom this brother? How are we starting, homegrown? How are we starting? How are we creating a pipeline? How are the current elected officials, whether, and specifically minorities, that are school board members, that are at the city level, the county level, how are they grooming and identifying the next generation of leaders to take their place? So, sometimes we got to stop being afraid to have honest conversation. It's not what you say, but it's how you say it. And I say that respectfully, but we got to have some honest conversation. I want to thank Reverend Wilson for her leadership and the committee for inviting me to speak today